All right, so I'm gonna call you out. If you have been checking your bank account balance here and there just to make sure there's still money in it, it's not really helping you, is it? Because at the end of the month, you're still wondering what the heck you spent money on. Did you actually make a dent in your debt? Or are you saving for your financial goals? And spoiler alert, not really. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to set up your budget for the month so that it reflects your real financial goals and gets you back to spending on the things that you truly love. Check it out. Hey guys, it's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. And it all starts. The number one tool that has helped me pay off $35,000 in student loan debt in 2.5 years, making a $37,000 salary, is the budget. It always starts with the budget. And I think this is one tool that people often overlook and think they don't have time for. But I'm gonna show you step by step in this video how to set it up in literally less than 30 minutes and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and hop over to my budget spreadsheet and see how this all works. All right, so the budget spreadsheet that I use is a template using Google Sheets. If you want to download this for free, you are welcome to do so using my budget toolkit link listed in the description box below for you to check out. So I went ahead and I'm using the blank monthly template that is included in the toolkit. So we're starting from scratch. And what you're going to do is a budget simply just tells the money that's coming in, where it's going, what expenses, what bills, what fund money, how it's being distributed. And every single month, I like to break this down into whatever monthly income there is. If you're bringing home $3,000, you need a plan for $3,000. That money needs to go somewhere. Let's have a plan for it. So here in this tab, up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little table that says planned versus actual. So the total monthly income that we are going to plan, this is how much you think you will bring in each month. Now for salaried W-2 income earners, this is going to be real easy because your paycheck stays the same. But don't forget about any kind of additional income opportunities that might happen throughout the month, such as side hustle income. Maybe you get birthday money, maybe there's a gift card that comes your way, or cash back rewards from using a credit card. All of that should be treated as income and something that you can put into your budget. Even if you think, oh, I'm definitely going to pick up a couple hours of overtime, add that in. See if you can plan for it, or you can plan for the smallest amount of money that you think you'll bring in, and anything additional is just icing on the cake. So let's go ahead and plan for a $5,000 monthly take home. So this is what actually hits your bank account, not the pre-tax amount that you would see on your paycheck, because obviously deductions get taken out of that, which I do have a box for that down here if you're interested. This is just more of a nice to know. So in the pre-tax paycheck contributions, you can add in what all of your different insurances that you might pay for, any retirement contributions to a 401k plan or a 403b can be added here, or even contributions to a health savings account. You can add that per paycheck and then it'll automatically calculate it per month. That's a nice to know, because I think a lot of people will pick a plan where they're overpaying in benefits, and so we'll help you during open enrollment time for health insurance opportunities to maybe switch your plan. But aside from that, you're gonna start with this income table here. So you're gonna plan out the $5,000, and then everything else you're going to plan into your budgeted items. Now, before I get into the budgeted items, you're definitely going to want to take a look at this debt table up here in the upper left-hand corner. This is where you can list out every single debt that you have, the minimum monthly payment, what you actually put towards that debt, the interest rate, and the total outstanding debt balance. Having this all in one window inside of your budget is so helpful because it keeps the debt top of mind, and then you can make an action plan for how you're wanting to pay that debt off. So let's say you have federal student loans, and right now with the payment and interest waiver and the pause on that, it's 0. And so I'm not paying on it currently, let's say in this hypothetical, and the total outstanding balance is $13,500. All right, so we've got our federal student loans, and let's say I also have some credit card debt from a Discover credit card. The minimum monthly payment is $21.63. I'm actually putting $50 towards it. There's an 18.99% interest rate, and the total outstanding balance is $34.50. All right. So those are all the debts in this hypothetical. Now we can go down into the budgeted items and start parsing this out. And what I like to do with budgeted items for the month is break it down into 4 areas. This is what I call the 4 F's. Fixed, your fixed expenses, which are all the things, all your bills, the things that you have to pay for and generally don't change amounts. So things like your rent or mortgage, your cell phone bill, your internet, groceries. Groceries obviously fluctuates, but that's always a fixed expense because you're always going to be paying for groceries. Gas, car maintenance, car insurance, and renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, and any other utilities that you can think of that aren't listed here, such as electricity, water, natural gas. All of those things can be added in here, and then plan that out. Next is the fun money. This is the discretionary spending that gets a lot of people tripped up in where they tend to overspend. So things like restaurants, shopping, which I would include things like Amazon, Target. If you have a favorite store that you always are frequently shopping at, list it there. Clothing, haircuts, gifts. Gifts can always trip up people, and fun money. So anything from like weekly Starbucks trips to concert tickets to golf outings, I like to separate that out. And then your subscriptions. So Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime, all of those things go here. And pro tip, list your subscriptions, especially the dates that they auto renew, inside of your budget so you know exactly when it renews and how much it's going to be. Sometimes it takes a little bit of detective work to figure that out, but a tool that I like to use is Rocket Money. You can download the app for free, connect to your accounts for free, and then it's going to show you exactly which subscriptions that you have that are listed under maybe a specific credit card or a bank account. Then you can make the decision to say, actually, I completely forgot about that app subscription. You can make the decision to cancel it on your own or have Rocket Money do it on your behalf. I will list my affiliate link for Rocket Money below for you to download that app and just give the tool a try. I think this is a great resource for quickly locating your subscriptions and canceling them. And the next category is fudge. This is your miscellaneous category, almost like a buffer, if you will, if you tend to go overboard or if you're going over in a different budget category by like $100, then you have a buffer of $100 that you can quickly move. So you could add $100 there. And then future. This is all of the things that you are trying to save for, including an emergency fund, maybe a vacation fund. Maybe you're trying to save up for a replacement car, or you want to set aside a little bit more money for investing. All of that goes in your future category, but future really kind of takes a pause or is less prioritized, especially when you have debt and when we're talking about making sure all of these fixed items are taken care of. Another thing that I like to add when I'm thinking about setting up the budget for the month is thinking about that specific month. So at the start of the month, what do I know that's going to happen in this month? Let's see, I'm planned for a trip, use vacation fund, or rework budget to accommodate. So if I'm planning for a trip home, and I know I need to fly back, that is what I'm going to be doing. I need to rework the budget for that, so start of the month. Also, let's think about St. Patrick's Day celebration. Maybe you are wanting to go out, maybe attend a party, something like that. So you want to make sure there's room in your fund money for that. At the end of that month, after the month is over, you're going to go back and take some notes of things that were obstacles, challenges, or wins for you and add that in the end of the month notes section. And then you can make a note for the next month, what you have to follow up on or what you want to work on. All right, so let's say we have the $5,000 and we want to plan out our money. So we know for sure that rent is $1,200, cell phone is $60, internet is $50, and then you can start filling this out. If you don't know how much you spend on groceries, for example, it's real easy to look inside your bank account or your credit card statement and then add up all of those transactions every single time you went to the grocery store for that particular month. And then you can see, I like to do this for the 3 months prior and then take an average of those 3 months. I find that the average is going to be more accurate because some months you may spend more on groceries where other months you may not. And so finding an average of the last 3 months of grocery spending is really going to help you out here. So let's say that's $300 and we're gonna start filling this out. Okay, now that I have the budget mainly filled out, I can see some big advantages here to how I filled this out. For starters, I can see that I still have a net of around $1,600 up here. And I made a note that this should be close to zero as possible because again, you wanna make sure that money has direction and that you are giving it an opportunity to help work your financial goals the most. So here, I still have like $1,500 even though I've completely added all the fun money spending. I've added some stuff for future savings. I'm not currently saving for the car fund, and this is where I can make a big impact on my Discover credit card and the student loan debt. So here's where I can actually start to make money moves and see, well, if I still have over $1,000 left over, maybe I put $1,000 into the actual monthly payment. So if I'm making the minimum monthly payment now, I've changed it to $1,050. You're gonna see how that subtracts down here in the planned area of the table. So now I have $530 left over. And what I like about this is if you are committed to paying off your debt and truly living a debt-free life where you don't owe anybody anything and you want to have the most opportunity and the most choice with your money, the debt is going to be the priority. Temporarily, you are going to make debt the priority because remember, this is not a forever thing. You are not in a permanent situation. It's just a matter of how long or how short you want that debt-free journey to be. And that is why I think prioritizing the debt out of everything else is going to be key here. Now also, I didn't address the emergency fund, so I put a note here that you should have at least 2 to 3 months of basic living expenses set aside in an emergency fund before you go crazy off the walls with the debt-free journey. So this is, if let's say I do have a fully funded emergency fund here, then I would actually zero this out and I would stop after 2 to 3 months of basic living expenses. That's what I would consider fully funded for the starter emergency fund. And then I would take all of that additional money because that just freed up an extra $350. Then I would even make this amount higher. So see how debt is getting the priority here, but I'm still leaving room for the fun stuff. I'm still allowing myself to spend $200 in restaurants. I'm still allowing myself to spend $120 in shopping. I'm making this Discover card the priority here and also making sure that I have enough in savings to cover myself if I were in an emergency situation. So 2 to 3 months while you're still in debt. After you become debt-free, aim for an emergency fund of 6 months of living expenses or more. Now, pro tip when it comes to setting up your budget for the month, I love having this tab open on my laptop pretty much all week long. It keeps me just subconsciously kind of thinking about it. Even if I'm not actively working inside of the budget, I know, okay, this is something I'm prioritizing this week, therefore it's open on my laptop. And then second pro tip to that is do weekly budget check-ins with yourself. Maybe set a block of time on your calendar for 30 minutes to just review and go through your transactions, open up your credit card statement or log into your bank account and then start adding and recording those transactions over into your budget spreadsheet. You are going to quickly see how much money is being spent throughout that week and how it adds up for the month. Then it's going to be so clutch at the end of the month because then you're going to see, oh wow, I've already spent $500 on groceries and I said my budget was $600. So I really need to get like Cutthroat Kitchen in my own kitchen and figure out what I can make for dinner without feeling like I need to go out and spend more money at the grocery store. I find that doing those weekly check-ins with your budget is really going to help you stick to those budgeted amounts so that you can focus and hit your financial goals. All right, so this is shaping up really nicely, and I think what's going to work really well here for you setting up your monthly budget is to keeping all of your expenses and how you're spending money to 1 to 2 cards max. So whether that be a debit card and a credit card, or 2 credit cards, maybe just 1 credit card. If you have credit card debt in this scenario, I would not be spending any money on a credit card. I would solely be sticking to a debit card because I haven't really flexed that muscle of being responsible with a credit card yet. So I find that if you're in credit card debt, only spending on the debit card for the entire time that you still have credit card debt, and then also after you become credit card debt free, at least 3 months of just sticking with that debit card habit is going to help you see, okay, like I only spend what I actually have, and now I'm just using the credit cards as an advantage to earn rewards and points for things like travel or cash back. That is when you can responsibly bring back in credit cards. So that's a pro tip, keeping the expenses to 1 to 2 cards max. Another thing here is when I'm thinking about monthly budget, and a lot of people are like, well, I want a budget for each paycheck. That's totally fine. The way that my brain works is seeing how the money is going in and going out every 30 days on a monthly basis. So what I like to do here is I like to keep a little bit of a cushion in my checking account to make sure that I'm floating enough money to cover those monthly expenses, especially the basic living expenses like your rent or your mortgage payment and those utilities, especially in this fixed category here. So I want to make sure that I always have enough of this money in my checking account at all times. So let's just take a quick look at what this is. Okay, so $2,075. I want to make sure that I have enough float money so that by the time rent hits and that bill hits, I know that I have enough money to cover me until my next paycheck, because not always is your paycheck date and your rent date always going to line up, or your mortgage date and your paycheck date going to line up. They're going to hit at different dates throughout the month, and so you want to make sure that you're retroactively earmarking that money for the next bill that comes up, if that makes sense. That's why I always like to have a cushion in my checking account to make sure that I'm covering those fixed expenses. All right, so that is a look at the monthly budget and how to set up that budget correctly. We took a look at how to plan out your income and your expenses by filling out the budget spreadsheet. You also saw how you could add in those debt payments to the debt table, and then any kind of savings that you wanted to add into the future section down at the bottom. It all comes together, and I think it's so important that you have that budget out on your laptop. You're checking in with yourself every week, especially if you're new to budgeting. I think this is really going to help you just make a big impact for the next few months and beyond, because budgeting truly is a lifelong skill that we're always going to have to do, no matter if you're in debt, debt-free, you make a little or a lot of money. This is something that is vital to help you with your personal finance and your success with money. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget you can get this exact budget template that I walked through with you today using the budget toolkit link listed in the description box below, and I'll catch you in the next video.